there was one thing I'd tell any single man to focus on if he wanted to improve every aspect of his life and how he's treated, it would simply be to build his frame. It's to get the coveted 1.6x shoulder to waist ratio, which, just like getting to a lean body fat percentage, absolutely and undoubtedly changes how you're treated in the real world and will get you so much more respect and attraction in every situation. And we have to understand first why it is actually so important. And I just want to basically lay it out straight. The world leaders are literally wearing suits to broaden their frame. The most assertive men in the world all have broad, dominant frames. And if they don't have it through building a physique, they get it through wearing clothes that accentuate it. And that is simply because psychologically, if you see someone who is broader and who takes up more space and who is wide and has broad shoulders, it's a sign of leadership, it's a sign of masculinity, and it is a sign of strength. And it simply abides by the halo effect, which shows that people who look good are treated better. So if you look good, if you look assertive, if you look dominant, what is naturally masculine, then of course you're going to get treated better. And that's why even the world leaders are trying to fraud max to get their physiques to look more like a V-taper. It is basic biological perception and basic psychology. So if the world leaders are literally doing this to gain respect from everyone in the world, how do you think this is going to influence your relationship and your interaction with women if you are to have a golden ratio physique and a V-taper and a wide broad frame yourself? Well, it is absolutely crazy. And that is because the golden ratio, the 1.6x shoulder to waist ratio physique, is literally like the hourglass physique for women, but for men. Okay, because think about it, when you walk down the street and you see a girl who has an hourglass physique, you are biologically, subconsciously attracted. You are thinking, holy shit, that is attractive. And it works in reverse. When a woman sees a man with a broad frame, wide shoulders, and a smaller waist, she is literally thinking he is so attractive, I cannot even help it. And it just comes down to the fact that the most attractive and the most feminine women will want a masculine leader figure as their mate. And if you have broad frame, if you have wide shoulders, it literally signals physically that you are a leadership character. And I've literally experienced the results of this myself, because girls have literally taken pictures of my back and commented on my back and want to fucking touch my back all the time without me even noticing half the time. And also, if you do any form of research, when girls are rating attractive body parts on men, in most cases they are choosing the back as one of the highest rated muscle groups. And that is simply because they don't even realize it, but it goes into creating that V-taper physique and that golden ratio physique. If that isn't enough of a reason as to why you need to build it yourself and why every single man needs to have it, then I don't know what is, because you're just going to simply be more confident when you have this type of physique as well, because you're going to just be socially accepted. You're going to feel more powerful than other people, and you're going to be treated as such. So now that we know how important it is, how do we actually get it for ourselves? Do we have it already? And what actually influences the chances that we can get it? I want to go straight into the main source, and that is the fact that you can have a genetic advantage and you can have a genetic better starting point when it comes to having a golden ratio physique. That's because having this 1.6x ratio between your shoulder and waist is largely determined by how long your clavicles are, which is the bone across your neck here, and by how small your waist is. But if you're familiar with this channel, that you know that I don't prescribe to being a downer and being completely black-pilled and thinking there is nothing you can do about it, because I was able to create a good physique and I was able to change my life from being in an underdog position myself. So that's why I'm here to teach you how to do the same. So we don't necessarily need the best genetics to achieve this, right? But it does help. But if you're watching this right now and you don't have the craziest wide clavicles and you don't have a tiny, small, childlike waist, then don't stress, because it is not over. And the beautiful thing is, it works at all heights, and you don't even have to be that jacked to achieve this, because it's not all about size here. It is mainly about shape and targeting specific areas of your body to accentuate a shape and a look. Since we know that the clavicle length and the waist size determine how well we can craft this V-taper physique, we need to do what it takes to maximize our perceived clavicle size and minimize our perceived waist size. How do we do this? Well, step one, to work on the waist, Doesn't matter how fucking big your waist is right now, you can shrink it. We need to get lean. We need to drop our body fat percentage significantly. And the best way to do this is simply by getting down to a low body fat percentage, around 8 to 12%. It is at this point that no matter how fat you are, your waist will shrink. If you think you have a blocky waist right now, get down to 8 to 12% body fat, and I guarantee you will not. Most guys, when they start losing weight, especially if they lose weight fast from a higher body fat percentage, they find that their pants literally start falling off them because their waist is shrinking, even though they thought they were cursed with a blocky waist. So if you're thinking right now that you have a blocky waist, chances are you are just fat, or you are just, holding too much body fat around your waist. And once you lean down through calorie deficit and through dieting, you'll actually be able to create an illusion that your waist is smaller. And step two, when we're trying to optimize our perceived clavicle length or width, we need to be focusing on the muscles around it. Because if we can't change our bones, if we are not genetically gifted, even if we are, we still need to work on the muscles. We need to build the physique. How do we emphasize the perceived width of our clavicles? Well, we want to train our shoulders, and specifically we want to get spherical circular delts, and we want to train the side lateral deltoid specifically. And we can do this by doing lateral raises inside of the gym and building this side bit, because it's going to create more of a perceived length or width to our actual overall upper body frame. Also, what we want to focus on to create the actual taper into the small waist, to create that V look, that 1.6x golden ratio, is also the lats. We want to have wide lats, and the lats sit right under your armpit, and it contributes to looking like this, and it makes it more contrasting when you have a small waist when you're lean, and when you have big lats and big side delts, because it literally perfectly forms this golden ratio physique. So how do we build our lats? Well, the number one way I would recommend is to do a lot of weighted pull-ups. They were the best thing because they're able to get your lats a full stretch, and you're also going to get benefits of targeting your rear delts and your biceps while you're training this exercise. It is so progressible, it is so good, and honestly, it is a standout exercise. So you won't only look standout, you'll also be able to be seen as performing in a standout way, because not many guys can do weighted pull-ups. And that is why, if you get really good at them, you will have a back that is different to other people. You will have a far better physique than other people. And building the shoulders and building the lats is just a small part of what I talk about when it comes to building the attractive physique, going from somebody who wants to be treated differently in the real world, going from the invisible, insecure underdog to a guy who's attractive and confident. And you can check the link in the description if you want to join that community, so you can become a well-rounded guy, transform your life forever, just like I did. I will teach you inside there personally myself. But going on to step three, after we have a small waist and after we have built a wider clavicle region or perceived clavicle length through building our shoulders and lats and getting some muscle in our upper body, in our frame, how do we actually go about packaging this in the real world? Because inside of the gym, this looks all very good and well. When we're posing in the mirror, we can see this clearly. But the mistake that a lot of guys make, that not many people touch on, is they wear clothes that do not frame them properly at all. It actually makes them look smaller, and if anything, it hides and regresses their progress. So what we need to do is learn how to actually package ourselves correctly and use our physique in the real world. And one key thing that I implemented the use of tapering shirts, slim fit shirts specifically, because a lot of guys are walking around, even guys that go to the gym, they're walking around with super baggy, boxy shirts on. And what this does is it does not show off your frame, it does not show off your physique. So once you have this physique, there is no point in hiding it. You should aim to wear slim fit shirts, specifically ones that hug your arm and your shoulder region, because what's going to happen is it's going to allow for a better visual taper from your waist up to your shoulder region, and make people see that you have a V taper. And if you get the right fitting slim fit shirt or compression shirt, then you will notice that it can kind of even push your waist in a little bit more and even further accentuate your V taper. And it's once you do this, just like wearing the suits that these motherfuckers wear to appear broader, that is when you'll actually start to stand out, because you will look dominant and you'll look like you have a presence. So to wrap it up, what we need to do is we need to get a small waist by getting lean, 8 to 12% body fat. We need to get big lats and big shoulders by doing weighted pull-ups, heavy shoulder training, specifically lateral raises, and we need to finally package ourselves properly to tie it all together, so we're looking like this 100% of the time, not just shirtless in the gym mirrors. So with that being said, I hope this has given you an understanding as to why you need to build the golden ratio, why every man should build it. And once again, if you don't have it right now and you want to learn how to build it and get results in the real world, check the link in the description because I'll teach you everything about it. That being said, progress is purpose, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.